You're watching Nevada Business Chronicles. Take a journey with us to see the innovative businesses that put Nevada on the business map. Connecting you with the businesses, events, and organizations that bring innovation and prosperity to the Nevada area, please welcome your host, Mitch Burney.
Today we're visiting an icon in our community, Wendell Carpenter with Carpenters Music World. Thanks so much for having us here.
You're very welcome. Thanks for being here.
50 years in Northern Nevada. I say an icon. You're the standard of music in our community. So let's talk about Carpenters Music World. Where did you get the name Carpenters Music World?
Carpenters Music World came from a long ways back. It actually used to be called C&M Music Centers when we got into business, and that was because I had a partner in business. And his name was McBride, so it was Carpenter and McBride. 18 years after that, I bought his share of the business, and it became Carpenters Music World.
And you have a world of music here, but music really does change people's lives. It changes their world.
We hope it changes their lives. I personally feel like that every home should have a piano in it. And in fact, I think that a piano is what makes a house a home.
Well, today we're going to even get to talk about how affordable you can make that. But you've probably seen over the last 50 years, and happy anniversary, by the way.
Thank you.
You've probably seen a lot of people come in and start with lessons and go on to do big things in their life.
We have some people that way, but it doesn't matter too much. There are some that have gone on to start them. The important thing is that they get as much out of it as they possibly can.
One of them, I understand, had his first musical instrument, purchased it at Carpenters Music World, wound up playing for Liberace.
Yeah, that was a young man that came in and bought his first drum set. It was almost $500. He became a percussionist for his high school. He took drumming very seriously. When he was 17 years old, he tried to, some of the bands at some of the clubs smuggled him in, even though he was underage, and he would sit in for them for the drummer. And when he was doing that one time, a scout for the Liberace show heard him, and so they signed him on with the Liberace show for a couple of years.
I can't wait to show what goes on at Carpenters Music World. Let's take a look.
All right.
Well, you just mentioned that you want to see a piano in every house, so let's take a look at how you're going to make that possible.
You know, we just celebrated our 50 years in business. I've been in business for 50 years. In that period of time, I've seen a lot of changes. I've seen children sometimes that have wanted to have a musical instrument, particularly a piano, and they haven't been able to do that, or their parents have not thought they were going to be able to afford it. That really bugs me. You know, I've thought a lot about this, and through the years I've had a rental program, but I finally fine-tuned it to where I feel like anybody can afford to have a piano, and that's my end goal. We've got it down to where they can have one for $35 a month.
Okay, wait a second, because I think you just said it right. I think that the perception would be there's no way I can afford to have a piano in my home, even if my child wants to play the piano. People are probably thinking hundreds or thousands of dollars to invest to buy a piano to have one in your home, but you just said you can rent one for $35 a month, starting at $35 a month. Am I getting that right?
That's right.
We've both seen people waste more than $35 in a night doing things that are not enriching their family's quality of life.
That's right, and even the $35 a month is not wasted because that part of that gets to go toward the purchase.
Okay, so you really do mean that a piano in every home is your goal, and you're really taking action to make that possible. Some people still might struggle with the $35 though. Are there options to even that?
You know, if they absolutely cannot afford the $35 and their child is gifted or they want to learn to play music, I'll kick in part of the $35 if I have to. Somehow we're going to make that happen, and they can come in and talk with me and we'll make it happen.
Okay, so you really mean a piano in every home. Now that starts at $35 a month, and then you have progressions based off of, I'm sure, new or used and the type of piano. So let's take a look at some of the rentals. We have a row of them here, and these are new instruments as well that you rent.
Yes, these are brand new pianos. Some people like to have, they have nice homes, They would like to have a nice instrument in their home, not some junker. And so we have these pianos that we have available for rather modest rates. These are on a 6-month program. They can rent it for 6 months, try it out, see how they like it. If they decide to buy it, it just goes on a regular contract and they continue to pay for it.
Okay, so they can rent a brand new one because they really think that they want to have one, but they can try it out for 6 months.
Right.
And if they determine, well, this really didn't work out for me, they also have a second option. Because you have built up some equity in the monthly payments because it's a rent to own. And if they decide maybe it's not the piano, but there's another instrument, that's the beauty about Carpenters Music World. You have a music world of opportunities.
That's correct. They can return the instrument at that point if they want to, or if they want to switch to a different instrument. The equity that they build up in the piano or whatever they rent can apply toward the other instrument.
Music is a passion of yours, and you really do care about people being able to have that in their lives as well.
Guilty as charged.
I think you just said it, the 50 years. At some point, you've had success. You've been in business for 50 years. But your mission today is a lot deeper than just running and owning a business. It's being a member of our community on a much deeper level.
We want to help every child develop their full musical potential.
Well, they start with a rental, and then they can graduate into the ultimate grand of all grands, the Blutner.
One thing about my business, as I say, I've been in over 50 years. I've had literally the opportunity to be inside of any pianos, any brand that's out there. I've had some very fine pianos that I've rebuilt, some that I've restored. I selected Blutner because I felt like it was the finest piano that I had ever played or worked on. One of the things that the Blutner has is called the aliquot scale. And the aliquot scale means that there are 4 strings per unison in the top end of the piano. And it gives this beautiful, clear, crisp sound. There's no other piano in the world that has that kind of sound and bell-like tone in the top register.
It was amazing, amazing.
All right, let me tell you a little bit more about the Blutner. We talked about the aliquot scale, and we know what that is. The Blutner has some other things that are very, very important. The soundboard, for instance, is made by assembling wood that is mined in a forest in Austria, so it's Austrian spruce. They have a 3-month per year growing season there. So all of the growth rings and the fineness of the wood is the top grade spruce in the world. They've done that for 135 years. The Blutner people have been in business since 1853.
Wow.
They're used by some of the finest concert halls in the world. It was one of Franz Liszt's personal pianos. The Blutner has been used by the Beatles. That was their exclusive piano.
Wow.
For doing this. More than that, the soundboard in the Blutner is actually fitted and crafted differently from any other piano. Almost other pianos, if we took a piece of paper and pushed down on all sides, this would be how the crown in most pianos are formed. In a Blutner piano, it's done naturally, curving this way, so that you don't get the cracks and problems with the Blutner soundboard that you do with other pianos. They even fit the plate so that it fits the soundboard. The plate is cast iron, and so it's cooled naturally in its cast, and then it's fitted to the soundboard so that you don't have the warpage or cracking that you do with other pianos. The bridges are hand-fitted. These are worked on only by master craftsmen, and a master craftsman is achieved by an apprentice working for 5 years that already is a very fine piano technician for 5 years under a master craftsman before he is allowed to take on that title and work on the Blutner pianos.
Well, the world almost lost Blutner pianos at one point.
You're right. During the Second World War, as you're aware, the Allies bombed Germany mercilessly, and particularly some cities. In Leipzig, Germany, is where Blüthner was made, and that was one of those cities. It was literally flattened.
Took a direct hit, the plant.
It did. And so the factory was destroyed. The German government, or the Republic there, felt like it was so important for the Blüthner piano to be rebuilt that they provided the funds and means necessary for the Blüthner factory to be rebuilt so that they could continue on.
Well, for the world of music and the piano world, that's a good thing they did, because this is absolutely an incredible piano. Now, Blüthner is still family owned and operated as well.
That's correct. Since 1853, it's been in the family itself, and so you have the personal care and pride of the family ownership. The inside of the rim, the wood that you see there is babinga. It's a wood made in Africa, and it's a beautiful trim for the inside of the piano. All of the materials that are involved in the Blüthner piano are the very finest that can be had. And then the workmanship that goes along with that creates an instrument that is truly world class.
Now you, after 50 years of being in business, could represent just about anybody you wanted to, but you chose to represent Blüthner.
I think it's the finest piano in the world.
Well, this comes from somebody that actually has experience working on them, firsthand knowledge of the inside mechanical componentry and qualities. So that says a lot.
It does. I think not only the workmanship, the beauty of it, the tone, the things that most people will want in a fine piano is the sound. It has to sound better than anything else that they can play. The touch has to be something that encourages their playing and enhances their playing. So they sound better on this piano than they do on any other piano.
Would you mind giving us a demonstration?
All right.
The richness is incredible, just unbelievable.
And the power that it has, it's a great piano.
Big event coming up here in August.
August 16th through the 19th. This is our grand piano sale. And we call it that simply because we'll be featuring some grand pianos, but the grandest of all, the Blüthner piano, will also be on sale for that sale.
Many times in a sale, the high end, the top of the line, is excluded, but not in this case.
Not in this case. This will be the first time ever that we've included the Blüthner
in a sale. So anybody who's ever dreamt of owning a Blüthner and wants to get a deal of a lifetime, they want to come down to the grand piano sale.
Now's the time.
August 16th
through the 19th.
Through the 19th at Carpenters Music World. You have a lot of options here at Carpenters Music World. You rent them, you sell them new, you also have a plethora of used ones. So tell me about your used pianos and used instruments.
You know, in keeping with what we wanted to do, we wanted to have a piano for everyone. We have some used pianos that we've acquired through the years. Some of them we've purchased at low prices, some we've taken as trade-ins. In some instances, we've had people literally give pianos to us. And so we fix them up and we get them ready to sell or to rent. And this makes it possible for us to rent pianos as low as $35 a month. But we also have a lot of pianos that we have used pianos that are spinets or consoles. We have grand pianos that are here that we have, they're on consignment that we've taken in for some fairly good prices. And so this whole panorama that you see of used pianos are available to everybody. A piano for any budget, a piano for any purpose, a piano for any person.
Well, this is really interesting because a lot of music stores do not carry the used equipment, and you're really committed to making sure that everybody that wants access to music can find that. And I'm interested to talk about your consignments and why that's so important today, in today's world especially.
You know, consignments are one of those things that are good for people. Sometimes they want to sell their piano, but they don't have the means to do it. We have ready-made lists in many instances. They don't have to worry about being burglarized or having some problems that way. So we have a good arrangement worked out, and it makes it possible for us to buy things or make things available for other customers at some good prices.
Well, I think the consignment option is a huge one for somebody that's considering selling their own piano. In today's world, there's some dangers involved. And you have a website people go to, so you have traffic that they won't have. You have people coming into your store all the time that they wouldn't have access to, and people looking for those instruments here. And then, of course, it's in a secured, safe environment. So while it's here, it's also safe, but they don't have to worry about having somebody come to their home, and that's a really important thing. I wouldn't recommend anybody sell their piano out of their house, and that's, it's not like you can take the piano and go show it. So you're going to give strangers your home address. It's just not safe. So big value for our community.
That's right, Mitch. And besides that, none of the pianos go out of our store without us inspecting them and getting them ready to sell. So this is unlike people that buy pianos off Craigslist or off the internet, for instance, where they don't have any guarantee or any way of knowing just how long that piano will hold up.
What condition is it really in? They would never really know unless they're an expert in pianos like you are. So you inspect them and then bring them up to a standard.
We want to make absolutely sure that the piano will perform for them. So when any piano goes out of our store, we make sure that all of the keys play and it will hold its tune.
You offer something else for the consumer that they just can't get by buying a piano online, an option within the first 6 months. So tell me about that.
Okay, well, that's kind of important because sometimes the student does very well with the piano, and if they do well and they need a better instrument, we allow full purchase price trade-in anytime within 6 months period. And so they can trade for a like instrument, they can upgrade to a better instrument, and have everything their child needs for success in piano.
Or for themselves.
Or for themselves.
This is really interesting because you'll also allow them to switch completely to a different instrument. Maybe sometimes they're not even positive that's for them, that if they find out in 6 months that they wanted to try a completely different instrument, they can still full purchase price trade for something else in your store.
That is correct. We've kept that alive with our band instrument program, and we've just always kind of done it, so why not with piano?
It's a fantastic program. Well, if you haven't inspired people enough yet, you're going to now. Tell me about this Yamaha.
This is Yamaha's newest creation. This is called the Inspire, and it truly does inspire people. Not only can you learn some arrangements and things like that from it, but even if you play piano so poorly that you say you're all thumbs, you can play this piano. You take your iPad or iPod and hit play right there, and it starts to play for you.
You're playing this piano right now from your phone.
It's the ultimate look ma no hands trick. I say I'm a piano quest. Isn't that cool?
Amazing. I am inspired, truly inspired right now.
You can download up to 6,000 concerts, so you can actually have a front seat, first row in your home of many of the concerts that are available. And one of the really cool things, I think, is when you can stream the radio signal into your home. So you can have this piano playing 24/7 without ever going to change the disc or any kind of device.
One of the things that fascinates me is how it can connect with your television and live performances. So, we all listen to music, and the studio versions are not always the same as the live versions. And this piano can record the live version. So explain how that works.
Well, the live version, you can actually be watching something on television, watching a performer play. Elton John, for instance, and he would be in New York City playing a concert. You'd be watching him on the television, and your piano would be playing what he's playing in real time.
So you're really hearing Elton John play in your living room.
That's right.
Live, synced with your television. I can't even begin to imagine how that's possible. No delay between the two either.
Right.
So you have your friends over and, well, the TV's playing and your surround sound is going. Your piano is filling the room with the live performance of Elton John.
It's entertaining.
It's unbelievable. It's technology at its finest.
It's inspiring.
It is inspiring. It's great. You never know what you're going to find at Carpenters Music World. Absolutely incredible instrument. Tell me about this harp guitar.
This is called a harp guitar. It was made by Gibson. It was introduced by the Madeira sisters, these frail little girls from Spain. It's a pretty good sized instrument. And this was made in 1903.
So the one thing in the store that actually outdates you.
Yeah, there's not very many. I try to keep something in the store that's older than I am.
Makes you feel young.
Yeah, it's getting harder all the time.
But this is a rare harp guitar.
It is rare.
In really beautiful condition.
Yeah, we're very pleased with it. I've had it for a number of years. I've had people try to talk me out of it before. It hasn't worked yet. But anyone that's willing and wants to try, they can
come in and give it a whirl.
Yeah.
To come down and meet Wendell or to see his harp guitar, you can find him at 1090 Kietzke or give him a call at 775-852-7618 or carpentersmusic.com. Wendell, thanks so much for joining us.
You're welcome. Nice being with you.
For more information on this guest or to see this show in its entirety, visit nvbusinesschronicles.com. While you're there, you can watch all of our past shows on the Chronicles page and stay connected with us by following us on our social media. Now more from Nevada Business Chronicles.
This could very well be the most important piece we'll ever do on this show. Today we're at Crossroads, Reno, and the home of Sober24 that's about to get its ribbon cutting. And we're here with Kevin Schiller, the assistant manager for the county of Washoe, and Deputy Sheriff Sean Marson. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Let's talk about Crossroads, Reno, and Sober24. This is a revolutionary program that should be a model for the rest of the entire country. It's so amazing. So tell me about Crossroads, Kevin, and how it got its start.
So Crossroads really got its beginnings when I was appointed director. It was right at the beginning of the recession. And what occurred with that is we really wanted to look at a different way to approach substance abuse, mental health, and our clients. And so what we really looked at is we tried to look at supportive housing in conjunction with a different approach on treatment for individuals. So the program really was taking a look at the 10 most arrested, most costly clients. And when we say costs, it could be medical costs, it could be jail costs, it could be anything that a client incurred. Some of these clients had upwards of $350,000 to $400,000 for an individual a year. And what we wanted to do was take those dollars and find a different way to approach it and change people's lives.
Sober24 would have never existed without the success of Crossroads.
Yeah, so what we saw is a real success rate, as we've talked about, in our Crossroads population from about 10 clients up to about 140. And what we wanted to do was change the approach in terms of not just those clients that maybe were down on their luck or homeless or indigent, but look at the entire population because it affects everybody. So Sober24 really came from that perspective and a change in meeting all across the population, and at the same time, we also wanted to engage our county departments like Department of Alternative Sentencing, again, the Sheriff's Office, and work towards national driven programs that were already doing some level of testing, but also incorporate what we learned in Crossroads tied to those services.
Come with me, let's go inside and I'll show you what we do at Sober24. Mitch, Sober24 is a community collaboration with the Department of Alternative Sentencing as the lead agency. This is Chief Joe Ingraham, who runs and oversees both of the programs.
What happens here at Sober24?
Okay, so people end up at Sober24 generally through court order. So we deal predominantly with the justice courts of Washoe County. So anybody that has a drug or alcohol nexus to their case required to be testing, they come here. Now that could entail several different things. It could be daily testing, twice a day alcohol testing, which we use a PBT here. So what they would do is they come in between 5:30 in the morning and 8:30 in the morning, and again 5:30 at night, 8:30 at night, 7 days a week, weekends and holidays. Kind of closes that opportunity to actually use alcohol. In addition to alcohol testing, we also do urinalysis testing. This cup allows us to test for 14 different substances. You know, with fentanyl being kind of on the scene right now, we're testing for fentanyl, ecstasy, also known as Molly or MDMA. So we're trying to cover the broad range of different substances that these folks end up using. It's either daily testing or random drug testing. So whatever the court orders, they come to us with their paperwork. We input them into our case management system, and then it's put into a randomizer if it's random drug testing. So they might test 2 times a week, they might test 4 times a week. They just never know. So it takes any of the potential to work the system out of it. Or if they're testing every day, twice a day for alcohol. One of the requirements of Sober24 is that it's an offender-funded model. So they pay as they go. So to do a breath test, it's $1 per test. For a UA, it's $5 per test. So that helps offset the operating cost of this building, and it's not at the taxpayer expense. During the collaboration of putting this together, we also do CPS testing. So if a social worker is out at a client's house and they suspect drug or alcohol use, they have them report here, and we do that testing for them also.
This is a big deal, and it's happening right here at home in Washoe County. We're having a grand opening, call it, a ribbon cutting. Tell me about that.
Yes, sir. That's going to be August 24th from 10 to noon. We invite the public and anybody else that wants to come out to view this program. We're very excited about it. It's a dynamic program, and we just look forward to seeing more people.
So come down August 24th, 10 to noon at 1530 East 6th Street.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much for what you do for our community.
Sir, pleasure meeting you. Thank you.
For more information on this guest or to see this show in its entirety, visit nvbusinesschronicles.com. While you're there, you can watch all of our past shows on the Chronicles page and stay connected with us by following us on our social media. For information on becoming a guest on our show, contact us at info@nvbusinesschronicles.com. We hope you enjoyed the show. Thanks for watching. Tune in next week at the same time for more from Nevada Business Chronicles.